Hello, 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 and welcome to a very, 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 very impromptu TNC live. And of course, we can now officially share that Norwich City Football Club have updated their club crest. It's absolutely massive news. I'm sure we'll divide opinion amongst the fan base, as always, with these things. So what I'm going to do, ladies and gents, boys and girls, is I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to read you the press release that was shared with us. I'm also going to talk you through the notes that I took down on the media consultation day, so you can understand what my take is on it, what my instant reaction was on it, and also what my thoughts are in general. So once I've done the press release and once I've done that consultation piece and my notes that I've got, I'm then going to canvass your opinions, and I really look forward to getting them. Already 130 of you in the house across all of our platforms. Loads of people already furious, which is inevitable. And let's see what you are angry or very happy with. Ladies and gents, boys and girls, it's the new Norwich City crest. Here we go. If you've not seen it, it is now official. The club have announced that it will be on the next season shirts. And I guess whilst this is on screen, I'll just read through the press release that was sent to us earlier on today. The club have revealed their new crest. Norwich City Football Club is delighted to reveal its new crest, which will be used across the club branding from June 2022. Together with industry-leading agency Someone, whose work includes similar projects at Tottenham Hotspur, Manchester City and Wolverhampton Wanderers, the club has created a modernised, evolved crest, which will ensure consistency across all digital, print and physical branding. The club has recently undergone a review of its brand, which confirmed a number of technical challenges and accessibility issues centered around the main club crest. There were also inconsistencies with the versions of crest used, with different iterations around our own stadium and incorrect crests easily accessible online. The new crest features a redesigned lion, castle and canary, each of which have been redrawn to overcome the technical issues found. By simplifying the elements and removing a lot of the unnecessary detail, the crest now renders strongly in both small and large scale. The black line around the crest has also been removed, with the balance improved by positioning the ball in the centre of the crest. Whilst the crest is at the heart of the project, it will be supported by a bespoke club font and the new brand property, both of which will be revealed in the summer of 2022. The entire process incorporated both internal feedback within the business and external feedback from the club's supporters. The crest will be introduced and formally used from the 17th of June 2022. Our 2022 to 23 kits will reveal shortly after, which will feature the evolved crest for the first time. For more information on the background, timeline, technical challenges and process, please head to norwichproject50.co.uk. Sam Jeffrey, the commercial director at Norwich City, has been quoted saying this is a huge moment in history for Norwich City Football Club and a real statement of intent for the future. For the first time in 50 years, the club will adopt a newly evolved crest fit for digital purpose, iconic, and most importantly, accessible for all. It's a project 2 years in the making and one that has been treated with the utmost sensitivity and care by those luckily enough to have been involved within the club's working group. Having garnered feedback from numerous stakeholders, both internally and externally, it was always going to be an evolution and not a revolution. We're extremely proud of the outcome. Executive Creative Director of Someone, the agency, of course, which helped the club with this, Rich Rhodes, said, when we started the project, we knew it was going to be something really interesting for us. Speaking to everyone from the owners and the board, players, fans and staff, we could tell that there is something really special at Norwich. This real sense of community pride and passion. It's something that we really wanted to bring into the fore of the work that we've done. It's really important to keep those historic, distinctive elements of the Crest. It wasn't a case of going in and making a fundamental change. It was about taking all of the best bits and making them even better and fit for purpose in the digital age. And that, ladies and gents, is the press release I have received. Let's go back to my ugly mug. Of course, as expected, a whole array of comments flooding in on social media already. On YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, we are live. Do give this a thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. Now, of course, the club have announced it. I've read through the press release, and also, as mentioned, I'm now going to read through some of the notes that I made in the initial media consultation that was done with myself and the rest of the media outlets in and around Norwich City Football Club on the 16th of September 2021. These are a bit random, but forgive me, these are my notes. And then at the end, I've also put my straight off the bat opinion, which I'll then go on to explain at the end. So first of all, we had a few comments from Sam Jeffries, and that was that the club's aim now is a top 17 club. Also, he mentioned that there was an underlying rhetoric of fan feedback, is that we love the Crest, but we want to see how it can be improved. A lot of people will remember that email that came out a few months ago now, basically hinting at this and asking for fans' opinion. He says that they are very proud of it. We were also informed then that the soccer bot was launching, the good old soccer bot was launching in 2 weeks. That got pushed back because of the dismal results under Daniel Farker. What's important to know and to understand about this, if you've not read the bespoke custom website that the club have launched on this club Crest, which I would highly encourage anyone to do rather than listening to me rabbit on about it. The Norwich City brand was actually designed pre-digital in 1970. It's also massively inconsistent at Carrow Road, the training centre, everywhere online. And the font is off the shelf. These are, just to reiterate, these are the notes that I've taken in the meeting of the consultation for those of you that have just joined us. 11 of the current Premier League clubs have updated the Crest since 2010. A lot of you will be shouting now saying, yeah, but don't do something new if it's not broken. But I'll go on to explain why you could argue our current club Crest is broken. Colours existing fail accessibility perspective, and they need better contrast. New brand passes all accessibility tests. I think that's a really important point to make. And as a family inclusive football club, it's really important that we are true to our values on and off the pitch. And one of the things that we could do to improve as a football club is to make our badge more accessible to those that struggle to see it, which is an important factor here. It's also worth factoring in that next season is our 120-year anniversary, which is, I guess, why good old Gossy, who I funnily enough met for a coffee today, I didn't know he was in the launch video. You know, as he said, if not now, when? And arguably, you could say, well, never change the club Crest. And I'll go on to explain my opinion on that in just a short moment. The club wanted to create a new bespoke club font and also an evolved crest. Just to explain a little bit about the process that they went through, that obviously I've read on that you've seen online, but just to give you my notations from that consultation. It was a 4-step process. First of all, it went to tender, which for those of you that aren't in the marketing game or world, may or may not understand, basically that's when you put the work out to see which types of agencies you want to actually work with. That's a really important, crucial part of the process. You wouldn't want to work with a dodgy agency on such an important project like this. So it went out to tender. Then there was a formation of a working group, and data gathering happened at that stage as well. So there was 50 interviews internally, including Norwich City players, and they were asked, what did you think of Norwich City Football Club when you signed for the club, which I thought was an interesting question. And just to really reiterate here, the club stand firm that they've done their due diligence here with various people on and off the pitch, board level, supporter groups, fans, media, etc., etc. The work went out to 6 agencies to tender, and also the agency that selected, of course, did the Wolves brand, which is quite strong in my opinion. And they also did the Spurs brand as well. These are obviously football clubs that are trying to get themselves onto the global market, which they've achieved, in my opinion, through their work with Wolves and Spurs. Really intrigued, and will be getting all of your opinions on this as well, to see whether you think it's up to the mark or not. Now, I must say, I go to a lot of business networking events in my world in social media, and I was extremely impressed with the presentation that the media and some of the fan groups invited were presented with. It was actually Gavin, who's the marketing manager at Norwich City Football Club. He said that he was keen to avoid soulless branding, that black is not a part of our color palette, and obviously that's a bit of an annoyance, that it's just everywhere, and it's yellow and it's green. So that's really important. He really emphasized, and the club have said this everywhere already, it's an evolution and not a revolution. We've seen that plastered everywhere. I am inclined to agree with that. I think that they have hit the mark in terms of being a revolution and not an evolution. It's certainly not a case of Leeds United with that absolutely horrendous new club crest that they were rightly absolutely ripped apart for. I don't think that's this. I think that Norwich City have got it right in terms of that statement. It's a revolution and not an evolution. They're not throwing the old crest in the bin, but I'll go on to my opinion in a minute. They reiterated that they never wanted to rip up the crest and start again, and they wanted to be respectful to the club's history. Also, there's a new font, which actually I'm not sure I'm allowed to say yet, but there is a new font that's going to be in place. That's actually been inspired from Weaving in the Strangers, which is of course the history of Norwich, which is an important point. Just in terms of some of the problems that I've noted down, which they raised in that consultation, that the lines on the current club crest, the one that I'm sporting here, they're actually inconsistent on the lion. If you want to call it a lion, it looks more like a dragon of the old crest. And that means that when you actually print it onto the kits, that it blurs into one on the merchandise, which some people will say, yeah, but I don't care. It looks fine. And you're totally entitled to that opinion. I can understand from a commercial point of view how it is a bit of a pain in the backside. Also, what's important is that the castle doesn't match the lion on the existing one. Apparently, the castle isn't accurate with the Norwich Castle as well. I think it's a fair point. It looks nothing like Norwich Castle. So a little update there was required. Also, the ball and the bird on the old crest, our current existing crest, sorry, the bird and the ball are off centre. Which is a little bit annoying, I guess. And actually, if you think about it, it looks much tidier. This is my opinion, by the way. You're welcome to disagree, and I will canvass for opinion in a minute. It's now in centre, you'll notice, on the new one, which is really important. Another interesting thing, when we were presented with the new crest in September, Gavin, the marketing manager at Norwich City Football Club, he actually showed us 40 to 50 different crest tests that this design agency did in quite a quick form, where they kind of flitted on screen, just to kind of show that they have really done their due diligence here, and they've not just kind of like botched something together and done it. They've really thought about this, and that it certainly came across in the presentation. Yeah, and sorry, I'm just going through my dodgy notations. Impressive presentation. At the point of the meeting, it was 95% done. Not sure what you want to take from that or not. They obviously informed us at that stage it was going to be announced in November, which I was thinking, oof, blimey, back under Daniel Farker, because obviously results weren't going well, and this would have really frustrated fans even more so than it probably has already. Obviously, everyone knows the changeover date now, the 17th of June 2022, and they wanted it to be on the 2022 to 23 new Norwich City shirts, which they will be. Also, a comment from the new Norwich City Football Club designer, Romana, who was really lovely. She said that the new Canary owns the ball. So think of that what you will. Now, before I go to your opinions, I know there'll be loads, and I promise you I'm going to actually scroll back through them, and I'm going to go through as many as possible because it's really important. I really want to hear from you on this. But I'll give you my straight off the bat reaction, and I made sure to write it down so people don't accuse me of, being in the club's pocket or some ridiculous nature like that. These were my straight off the bat thoughts that I wrote down in the consultation. First of all, I wrote down tidier. Then I looks cheaper, ? Does it look cheaper to you? Intrigued to hear your thoughts. I also wrote down, does the ball look too big? The shield looks sharper. The castle and lion look cool and more accurate. I believe that the canary appears stronger. And I personally really like the update of the lion. I think it looks like a lion now, which is quite important, obviously, in line with the city of Norwich. I think that makes it stronger and more applicable to our city. And as I said already, I agree that it's certainly a revolution and not the fact. It's an evolution and not a revolution. Also, what helped me, and I'll try and get a graphic up on screen, but actually, if not, just go and head over to the Norwich City socials because we've released one already. Go to our social channels at TalkNorwichCity on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, etc. And if you look at the graphic that we've released just a short while ago, you'll see the old club crest alongside the new club crest. Just have a little look at that for me and let me know how that sits with you. Does it sort of make sense now as to why they've updated it? Intrigued to know your opinion. So, guys, you've got the press release, you've got my notes from the consultation, you've also got my straight off the bat thoughts. And I must admit, when I first saw it, I was, and the room was quite quiet. I think everyone was a bit worried about maybe speaking up first. It took a while to almost digest it, and you guys will be going through the same process now. And as time went on and as we got fed that information, which you can get, and I'm going to get this press release up again because it's really important, you can get the information on the new club crest on there's basically a custom website that's somewhere. I've forgotten what it is. It's like Project 50 something or other. Anyway, it's on the Norwich City social, so go and check that out for all of the information and the why. And I think for me, I was initially I really don't want them to change the club crest. Everyone knows how passionate I am and how much I value our heritage. I'm a bit resistant to change myself, but actually having listened and learned the why and digested all that information, to me, it makes sense. And have to say, I think I am impressed with the end result, to share my opinion. Anyway, that's enough of me talking. I'm going to get your opinions up on screen now. I'm going to fly through as many of them as possible. I'm not quite sure how long I'm going to go live for. And to tell you the truth, Jack's gone on holiday, and I've just done this spontaneously. So maybe he'll shut this down any minute. I just felt it was really important as a channel to come on live and chat with you guys as soon as possible. So first of all, the first comment of the night: no need for a badge change. By the way, absolutely fairly glamorous YouTube profile picture there for sure. Archie says there was reasons for it. Yes, there was, as we've already said. There was reasons for it, and the club have said that on the website. Go and check it out. Talk Leicester City's in the house. They say Dino. Go on, I'll give you Dino. Dino. There you go. Couldn't resist it. There you go. Hello, everyone. By the way, loads of you are saying really lovely things as well, which is nice. I really appreciate the fact that you are enjoying the content at the moment. Ethan says, what's up on Facebook. Luke says, looks awful. Jaden Jones says, it's rubbish. Joe says, it's horrific. Toby says, I like it. I'll try and be balanced here, by the way, because I don't want to. I genuinely think it's going to be split for the first day. I think people will come to terms with it. Stephen says, awful. Ben says, huge win. Pack Battle Vlog says, no need. There is a need. Accessibility issues. You can go and see that on the club website. It does make sense. I promise you, if you take the time to read it. John, perhaps I like this from John. Everyone's either one side of the swing or the other, and you've just said that looks okay. And I do wonder if there's anyone out there that agrees with that. You know, are we actually just in the camp of actually, you know what, it makes sense, it looks all right? I think that people will adjust to it in time. Joe says the bird is horrible. Interesting. Scotty says no words. I'm sure plenty of words will be coming from other people to make up for that. To be fair, it's me, James E. is having a pop at the agency. He says, I could design something better, lol. And I'm sure there will be some designs that will be released by various fans and other designers, both locally and nationally, in the coming days, which will be annoying if someone ends up designing something better for sure. Dave, he says, is it even recognisable as a canary? I think so. I think it's a modern version, I have to say. Simon Green is highlighting that it looks like it's got clipped feathers. I didn't notice that myself, but there you go. And by the way, just to get my ugly mug off screen, just in case people are new to this, I'm going to get the club crest on whilst we talk through this for the next 5 minutes. Let's get your comments up on screen. It's kicking off, that's for sure, on social media. There are absolutely loads of comments, and I'm really struggling to keep up, to be honest with you. So let's try and get them up. Harvey on Facebook says, I love the lines on the ball. Well, they're not there anymore. It's more modern. Stuart says, it looks like a child has designed it. Okay. Matt Pills on Facebook. By the way, lovely dog there. That could be profile picture of the night. He said, waste of time and money. Wow. Robert says, this is all bullshit. Blimey, O'Reilly. Fair enough. I respect your opinion. There's poo emojis. Craig says, bring back the line. Oh, okay, Craig. I'm surprised you've said that. I must admit, I really like the new line. I prefer the new lion to the old lion. I don't think I personally really don't think the old lion looks like a lion. I think it looks like a bit of a weird child dragon. I personally like the new lion. I think it looks more accurate with the one at City Hall. God, blimey, I'm really talking lots. I'm struggling to keep up with it all. Wayne says, it's naff. It's a lot of work for very little gain. I think there will be commercial gain in time. I know it's hard for fans to think like that. Finn says, you are deluded. If you're talking to me, I'm sorry you think that. I hope you're happy and healthy, and I wish you a very good evening. Just to say, you know, all I'm doing here is reading through the club statement, and also my comments that I wrote down, which were told to me in the media consultation back in September. So please keep it nice. I'm only just reporting on it, and I would really appreciate that, as we don't have to produce this content that so many people enjoy. Here we go. Let's try and find out some more. I love this one from Ben. Why not put Craig Shakespeare on it? He says. Everyone knows Craigie Shakespeare. But let's have a quick break from Badge chat, from Crest chat, just to give me a quick moment. And by the way, I'm going to have a drink. I spoke to Mr. Goss today, actually. I was at a business networking event, and he was there, and we quickly grabbed a coffee together afterwards. And he was buzzing about Craig Shakespeare, let me tell you. And when you hear those things from a club legend, or god, as Gunny likes to call Gossy, it really makes you think. And he was talking very much about the experience that he'll bring. You know, particularly, he spoke a lot about Craig Shakespeare, actually. Also very impressed with Dino. So Gossy definitely approves of that appointment, which I thought I'd share that information on. Just one moment. I just need a drink. Blimey, I've been going for 23 minutes. Good evening, everyone, by the way. Sorry, if you've just joined, I've literally just needed to have a drink. I've gone through the press release, and I've gone through the notes that I took down in the original consultation. Let's get some more opinion. D-Jam, he's always on the channel. He says, really poor. It's a GCSE concept design. They would have spent millions on a team designing it, and they come up with this. Seriously poor effort. Wow, D-Jam's not happy with it. Are you in the D-Jam camp? Are you okay with it? Do you understand the reasons? Do you like it? Just to be clear, I'm sharing my honest opinions. Everyone, well, I hope people know by now, I'm certainly not in bed with the football club after our comments on Daniel Farker. Just sharing our honest opinion. Nigel Jones, was the fans actually consulted? Yes, they were, Nigel. I can definitely confirm that. So many fans were consulted. Also, I think they gauged opinion from that original email as what I would call as a marketed top of funnel. So they gauged the opinion. Were fans keen to understand what a new Crest would look like? They then explored it. I think it's been on the agenda for a while, truth be told. So yes, I can confirm that fans were consulted. Also, internal staff, external media, board, Norwich City players. And this is an interesting point as well, actually. I found it particularly fascinating that they spoke to Norwich City players, our new players as well. And they said, well, what did you think of Norwich City when you first joined? Now, we don't know the answer to that question, but perhaps they said, actually, do you know what? Maybe we could have a cooler crest, which is interesting from a recruitment point of view. Is it one of those marginal gains that makes perhaps a little bit of difference? I don't know. And I'm sure a lot of the old boys will have something to say about that. Look, I must emphasize, people don't like change, and it's understandable. I have to admit, I'm not normally one to jump at change all the time, but having read the why, I think I get it. It's a bit weird to begin with, but as you compare it, and you can compare it on the Norwich City Club, I'm talking too much, the Norwich City, Norwich City socials, you can see an old crest and a new crest side by side. Quite an important thing to do. Alex in it. He's back. Top man with his AirPods, looking cool as always. He says, loving the new badge. Okay. You seem in the minority at the moment, by the way, Alex. I quite like it, I must admit. I'm not afraid to say that. Frankie says it looks Americanized. Fair point. I would agree with that. I think it does look slightly American now. Scotty says the canary looks too big. It's interesting that you should say that, Scotty, because as I said, my initial straight off the bat opinion was that I said the bull looks potentially too big, but perhaps the canary does too. Do you agree with Scotty's comments on that? Let me know in the comment section. Kevin, with perhaps a more articulated, calm comment on Facebook, he says, personally, Chris, the only thing I think looks better is the lion, as the old one looks, I guess that's the questionable face, isn't it? But don't know why they don't like the canary. It looks pregnant. Okay, interesting comment from Kevin there on Facebook. Do you agree? Let us know. Mr. Testosterone says, the new club crest stinks of Sky Bet football next season. Okay, fair enough. You're entitled to your opinion. Interesting point here from Sayanator. That's a strong YouTube username. And they say, I preferred the canary off-centered. Okay, interesting point. Let's get this up on screen. Do you prefer the canary centered or off-centered? This is now centered. So you've got the ball that's now centered and the canary as well. So it has been purpose-built to fit all of those, I guess, correct design criterias. And by the way, I don't know exactly for sure the exact details because I didn't write this down in the consultation. But Gavin, the marketing manager, and I think Sam as well, Mr. Commercial at Norwich City as well, said that the original club crest was actually designed by some random geezer back in the day who won a competition in the EDP or something like that, and like won a little prize of money or something. So yeah, I guess you could argue that it did need modernizing, but that's my opinion. I must emphasize, by the way, I think it's this might be easier for maybe the younger generation to get their head around. I think maybe, I don't know, maybe that's a bit controversial. I think perhaps younger people might be able to take to this quicker because it looks cooler, in my opinion, but I could be wrong there. Maybe I'm going to annoy people just trying to do my job on TalkNorwichCity and co-host here. Saxo Ross says, I like it. There you go. Tom Williams on YouTube, by the way, Pierre-Lise Malou. That shot of Pierre-Lise Malou in that salmon kit, by the way, is really is quite something. He says, RIP lion with bird wing arms. This is the thing, isn't it? Like, let's face it, the old one, the current one, there are some pretty questionable parts of it. The castle and the lion that didn't really look like Norwich Castle and didn't really look like a lion, in my opinion. Mr. Baz says, DEANOOOOS, Yellow Army, love that. Alex is saying he's loving the new crest again. Tom says, pointless. There you go. Mr. Testosterone says, changing the crest changes the club. Big statement. Do you agree? Liam Moore, he says, looks way better. The line on the old badge looks like Bart Simpson. And the canary is more modern. Do you know what, Liam? I actually agree with that. I hadn't thought of that, but it's true. It had like that spiky hair on top. Interesting point indeed. Good evening for the people that have joined, by the way, and I'm not going to go on for much longer, to be honest with you. I just wanted to do a quick half an hour or so reaction to the new club Crest coming out. Just wanted to jump on to let you know my thoughts. If you have jumped on in the last 10 minutes, do feel free to rewind this, and you can watch it back on YouTube to listen to the club statement. And also I read through in detail my initial off the bat reaction, as well as the notes that I took down during the club consultation. So if you are particularly interested in that, do feel free to go and watch this back later on. Look, guys, if you've enjoyed this video and you're watching on YouTube, do give it a thumbs up. If you have watched this on Facebook, do share it, like, comment, etc. Twitter, drop us a follow at TalkNorwichCity. Also, get involved in the conversation. Tag TalkNorwichCity, and we'd really like to hear from you. We really would. Although I'm sure it's going to be a pretty heavy night for the football club. People really don't like change. So there you go. Let's just go. I'll just quickly do the last few comments. Jamie says, I like it. Something simple. Okay. George Haslam on YouTube says, makes complete sense. Could be a lot worse. George, I think I love that from you, George. I really do. And I think this is a really good point. It could be so much worse. I think it does need modernising. I think it's a really tough job to get the balance right. The perspective here, as I said at the start of this video, is that Leeds crest that they redesigned with the fist was just absolutely horrendous. And that's the definition of getting it wrong. I don't think they've got this wrong. I do agree with their statement that it's certainly an evolution and not a revolution, just a tweak, just an update. Also, just to let you know, just in case people that are watching this hadn't already realised, the new club crest is actually being projected onto Norwich Castle right now, and I completely forgot to tell you that. So I'm sure there'll be pictures of that later on, the new club crest on Norwich Castle. Go and check it out. Guys, I must admit, I'm gasping for water. I'm so sorry I've not been able to respond to all of your comments at the moment. It's been a long day. This is a last minute video. Jack's not even allowed me to do this, so hopefully I don't get sacked from my role as co-host at Talk Norwich City. I'm really excited this week. We've got a great opposition preview coming out with a really cool Wolves fan. That's going to be out on Thursday, I think, although I'm struggling to keep up with the days. I think that's out on Thursday. So I'm looking forward to releasing that. And apart from that, I hope you're all well. I hope after tea, after you've got some food in you and you've had maybe a drink, perhaps a Lakers, you can get 20% off in the description in YouTube using our code TNCPL. Maybe you'll calm down if you are hating the new badge. Thank you so much for watching this video. Really appreciate the support. Everyone's been phenomenal at the moment. I really appreciate it. I hope everyone has a fantastic evening, and the next video you'll be seeing on the channel will be the opposition preview, which is out on Thursday. I'll leave you on this. Dino.